Hello and welcome to Sharon Local History. Welcome to Sharon, Massachusetts. In this video, I will include about 10 images which are old postcards of Sharon from about 1900s to 1950s. There is no order. These were published in the Sharon Advocate. So this is part 7. So this first picture is probably familiar. So this is our center of town, which we call Post Office Square. The building on the left side is known as Bendinelli Block. The one on the right side, or rather in the middle, Dennett Block. You may recognize it. We still have that building standing and it didn't change much. However, the space in between, as you can see, is empty in early 1900s, and eventually they put another store in. I will show you on the next picture. But behind it you can see kind of whitish building with black roof. That was a barn, and that was eventually replaced by the Verizon building on High Street. And by the way, on the far right, that's the Petty's store. So this next picture is about 20 years later, so 1920s. So it's a post office square with the building between Bendinelli's, which is on the right side, and Dennett on the right. That was filled in. A new store was put in, and it was called Mackay's Paper Store. The Dennett store was built in 1905 by Dr. George Dennett. He was a dentist and he had his office on the second floor. There was actually also telephone company's switchboard that was in that building, and then eventually it moved on High Street. On the bottom there used to be a Stewart and Kincaid Bakery and Provisions, and just beyond that was Moulton Drugstore. You may hear those names. So right here, one more picture of Post Office Square. That's in between, probably 1908. A beautiful site. You are standing on Main Street. So North Main Street is on your left and South Main Street on the right side. Right in front of you, it's beautiful elm tree. On the left side is the water fountain for horses, and behind it, that's Billings. In the middle of it, that's the Bryan store that used to serve as a post office as well as a store. And to the right side, right of it, would be a Pond Street. The building on the right is again Petty's. You can actually read it. So it's Petty and Colburn, it says. And one more time, so you don't forget it, this is actually the original Petty's store. It was built around mid 1850s, and it was a fantastic gathering spot for town people. Just basically whenever they needed to fetch something, that was the place to go. You can see the horse-drawn buggies in front of it. That was basically a delivery service. This building was eventually moved to 32 Station Street, where it is still standing. This is what it was replaced for. So Petty's store was replaced for this modern looking building at the time. You can see it was upgraded. It was bigger, of course, as well as divided into sort of like 3 units. It was for it was a meat market, hardware store, and a dry dry goods like beans, rice, etc. Each section was separated, but you could walk from one market to another one without going outside, which was very convenient. Unfortunately, this building burned down in December 1966. And this building was Lady Grey's Tea Room. That is still on 32 Station Street. It is private house. Please be respectful. It was operated by Mrs. Hadley Matthews, who turned it into a tea room. So That was the original Petty's store that was moved from the center of town. This incredible building we all miss so much was the Victorian Town Hall. The photograph is from early 1900, and we know that it was actually built in 1883. Unfortunately, it was demolished in 1964 to make room for the more energy efficient building. Some of you may not remember it because we now have a third one. By the way, this town hall had a foundation from Moyle's Quarry, so the granite stone, you can kind of see it on the left side and maybe on the right side of the stairs. It came from Moyle's Quarry, which also supplied granite for the Canton Viaduct. And here is the old town hall, beautifully decorated for the town's annual 4th of July celebration. So, as I mentioned, the building was raised in 1883. However, it was voted to build it in 1881, and they agreed that the cost will not exceed $10,000. The building was pretty busy and very important for town of Sharon at that time. There was a police department, a jail on the bottom level, as well as town offices, and there was impressive circular staircase that led upstairs to the second floor, where an auditorium with a stage was situated. And that's the stage right here. There were many plays and musical programs that were performed in this at the auditorium, including Gilbert and Sullivan operettas directed by a very young Leonard Bernstein in 1930s. So the town hall served for over 80 years, and now we have the new town hall that was built just before pandemic 2019. The major complaint about the old one was not only that it was not very pretty, but it was not ADA compliant, and basically town meetings were at the community center. So now we have incredible large building, but it serves many purposes and it's up to date. And the last photo is a picture of the Sharon Fire Department called Hook and Ladder number 1. It was located right where the current town hall is, basically. The side that's facing the North Main Street was basically right side of this building. It was the first house and it was built in 1887, and apparently it cost $887. Very impressive. Eventually it was demolished and the newer modern one was built around the same time like the town hall, and then we have now for last maybe 7-8 years a beautiful, incredible safety building and fire station right next to our police station on South Main Street. I hope you enjoyed this, and thank you for watching Sharon Local History.